and the problem.
Equal pay for equal work laws are a source of apartheid. You know, the basic source of apartheid in South Africa was the insistence by trade unions on equal pay for equal work. The women who go around today urging equal pay for equal work are being anti-feminist. They don't intend to be, but that is the effect of their policy.
So there was a woman that, a young girl, that asked him if he was against equal pay for equal work. The premise in this is, you know, the feminist idea that women make whatever, 70 whatever cents on the dollar that men make. And Milton here is going to get into the, you know, the minutia on what's really going on here.
Because if there is any activity in which, for any reason, a male is preferable to a female, or vice versa, the only weapon the less productive sex has is to offer to work for less. And if you deny them that opportunity, you're assuring yourself that you're going to have all male jobs or all female jobs or all white jobs or all black jobs.
But aren't you also condemning them to stay that way?
Not at all. Not at all. The typical course, if you go back to American history.
I apologize. I was thinking about a different cut. There's one where a woman does ask the exact same question.
By taking these low-paid jobs, a great many people, not all, but a great many people were able to develop skills and activities, accumulate a little skill, a little capital, a little knowledge, improve their lot, become advance in the stage, get to a higher level of productivity, and get a higher income. That's been the typical way up the ladder for most of the people who came in here. It was a way up the ladder for my parents, for your parents or grandparents or great-grandparents, I don't know which. And that's the way in which, unfortunately, there's no way in which you can immediately propel people to the top of the ladder.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Friedman, referring to the
This is her.
statements that you made about women who advocate equal pay for equal work.
Gee, I thought I'd get a rise out of that sooner or later. Delighted to have it.
Yes, okay, I just would like to know if you're insinuating or perhaps, point blankly saying that women and other minorities' skills are inferior to those of those now holding those jobs, and that they need to go through a period where their skills need to be improved and therefore deserve to be paid less?
No, I don't think desert has anything to do with it. I'm not, first of all, I think desert is an impossible thing to decide. Who deserves what? Nobody deserves anything. Thank God we don't get what we deserve.
Why, he was fantastic. He was just such a likable guy. And like I said, I've pretty much consumed every minute of this guy that's out there. His books, I usually do audiobooks of his books. But I mean, he was just like extremely, you have this nerdy little guy with glasses on, economist. How sexy is that, right? And it's just so charming, personable. He people could relate to him. He was just great, man. He was great.
But I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying a very different thing. I'm saying that the actual effect of requiring equal pay for equal work will be to harm women. If women's skills are higher than men's in a particular job and are recognized to be higher, the law does no good, because then they will be able to compete away and can get the same income.
So listen to that point. So let's take this point by point. So equal pay for equal work, women get paid less than men, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So he's saying if women are actually equal to men and their skills are equal and everything's equal, then
if their skills are less for whatever,
then what the law doesn't do them any good, because they're already just as good as a man. So if they're already just as good as a man, then what does the law do for them?
can get the same income. If their skills are less for whatever reason, maybe it isn't because it's their sex, maybe it's because they were out of the labor force, maybe it's for other reasons, and you say the only way you are able to hire them is by paying the same wage, then you're denying them the only weapon they have to fight with. If the unwillingness of the men to hire them is because of...
So break that down again. So let's say there's an accountant, a male accountant, who's 20 years old, and he starts working as an accountant at 20, and he works till he's 35. Do you think he should be getting the same amount of money, less amount of money? Well, let's say hopefully he would have gotten raises. So take a female accountant at 20. At the age of 24, she gets pregnant. She has children. She stays home. Then at 26, she has another child. She stays home. And let's say she stays out of the labor force for 5 years. She's now coming back to the labor force at, let's say 30. Is she going to be increasing throughout that time? Or is it going to be the guy that's been in the trenches there, working every single day? He knows the new laws that have come into place. He understands everything that's going on. He's put in the time, right? So it's the amount that the wage gap, the gender wage gap that we all see, pretty much that's kind of been erased at this point. It doesn't even exist anymore. I think educated women on the whole are making more than men, but whatever. But even during this time, there was an explainable reason as to why. When you take the aggregate, so if you take 100, if all you do is take 100 women and 100 men, who makes more? The men make more. Okay, but you're ignoring the fact that of those 100 women, that's why Thomas Sowell brings up the excellent point. He doesn't just take 100 random women. He takes 100 women that have never been married. That's how he runs and crunches his numbers, because that's a massive data point. You have 100 women and 50 of them have been married with kids, and you're putting up against 100 men. Even if they've still been married with kids, they didn't have to go through childbearing. They didn't have to stay home and raise the kids, especially during this time when a lot of women were choosing to stay home and raise the kids. So there's going to be a disparity in the income. You have to account for the disparity based upon the outcomes of each individual's choice.
Have to fight with. If the unwillingness of the men to hire him is because the men are sexist, are what's the phrase, racist, sexist pigs or whatever, if that's the only reason they want to hire him, nonetheless, you want to make it costly to them to exercise their prejudice. If you say to them, you have to pay the same wage no matter whether you hire women or men, then here's Mr. Sexist Pig. It doesn't cost him anything to hire men instead of women. However, if the women are free to compete and to say, well, now look, I'll offer my work for less, then he can only hire men if he bears a cost. If the women are really good as a man, then he's paying a price for discriminating. And what you are doing, not intentionally, but by misunderstanding, when you try to get equal pay for equal work laws, is what you are doing is reducing to zero the cost imposed on people who are discriminating for irrelevant reasons. And I would like to see a cost imposed on them. I'm on your side, but you're not.
I'm just so good. Just so good.
Tell me, is there some...
I mean, just so good. I'm on your side, but you're not. Right? And that goes with minimum wage, equal pay for equal work laws. Essentially, he's saying if somebody is actually discriminating against somebody for whatever reason, and you say to them, you know, you have to hire, you have to pay everybody the same no matter what. And let's say in this particular example that they don't like women. So he'll say, okay, I'll just hire all men then. Like whatever, who cares? You can't have a law saying that he has to hire a certain amount of women. They'll just say, all right, I'll just hire all men. Easy. But again, back to this point. If the women can commit and compete, say, well, you know what? I'm willing to take this job for $2 an hour less. I think in one of the other parts, he says that everybody, like even racists or even people that hate other people, they still like themselves more than they hate that other person. Meaning that they may hate women, but if hiring a woman is going to help them more, then they'll still hire the woman because they hate themselves. It just makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Milton always made sense to me, at least. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you can, please subscribe to the channel. 6283 Talk on the X is my X account. You can meet me there. Hit the notification bell so you know when I release new videos. I'm John Soto. Thanks a lot, guys. See you on the next one.